they're all going to act like how I would act.
There you go. Exactly. They're going to treat the house like their own. No, you have to. So that was surprising. I was very naive, but learning that I had to be picky. I had to be picky with my renters was surprising. But now that I've been picky, like the guy that I eventually rented to, this was back in 2017, still rents for me today. I've never had a single problem, not a single issue, no repairs, no anything. So it was like, okay, I gotta be a little pickier, and that was surprising.
Did you have any challenges with, you're just so young? I'm sure when they toured the house, they're like, wait, you're the homeowner and landlord?
Yes.
Any problems with that?
Not problems, but a lot of comments.
Did you try to hide it?
No, I don't know. I don't know how I would have grown out a little beard or something.
Not your age. Hide the fact that you're the owner. Just like, I'm renting one of the rooms. I'm acting as property manager. Or are you just like, this is mine?
This is mine. Yeah.
It's a common dilemma. Whenever we're coaching landlords, they often say, like, should I tell people that I'm also the homeowner? And I always advise that, they're going to find out regardless. And you need to set proper expectations of like your role in this house hacking setup to begin with.
Yeah.
So ultimately, we think you did great.
Okay. Good. The other thing was there were some things I did not know. And this is where I can't even remember. I was so young. I can't remember who the agent was on it or anything. But I remember the agent did not do a lot to talk to me about the city guidelines. And it turns out one thing I didn't know after I moved in is I wanted to rent it, but I needed like a permit.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And with that permit meant I needed bigger window wells. So here I am, this 21-year-old kid saying, how in the world am I going to do window wells? And so it was just some small stuff like that, figuring out how to get a concrete cutter out and stuff.
To get the right egress and everything.
Yeah.
It's one of the most common things that we run into is there's so many other agents out there that are like, I could do a house hack. This one has an ADU. Perfect. Like, let's do it.
Yep.
And I'm like, you guys don't even know the first thing. Like, was the basement, when they finished it, was it even permitted to begin with? Let alone, like, for example, the window wells. Is there the proper egress?
Yep.
Is there all of the criteria that need to have, like, a proper ADU, like smoke detectors? Is it separate entrances, separate? Mm-hmm. There's so many things that people just overlook, assuming that the only thing you need is, like, a kitchen.
Yep. Totally.
And it's just like, that's not an ADU. Like, there's so much more that you have to be aware of. So,
well, and it's like knowing now, right? Knowing, like, looking back, because hindsight's 2020, it's like it would have been so much easier to have my agent at the time negotiate that in the contract. Like, hey, we need the window wells cut out and put in. Even if the price is a little higher, I would rather raise the price and have it covered that way than pay cash. So knowing those things, those are probably the biggest surprises.
Yeah, no, and that makes sense. And thankfully, nothing crazy as far as tenant surprises.
Yeah.
Other than sleeping bag people that left.
Yeah.
But
that is a weird first experience.
Yeah. Like a weekend.
So then let me ask you this, because obviously you've had many renters. In your first property, you had like, what, 5? Probably, with the basement and the upstairs?
Yes.
So throughout all of this management, what would you tell somebody who would be apprehensive about being a landlord? Like, what kind of advice would you give them if they're nervous about managing something like that?
Honestly, I think it goes into the same thing. Be picky. Be picky. And it's funny because when we did our class, that's exactly what you talked about, is be picky. Mm-hmm. You can't always say it's perfect and it's a dream, but the people I've been most picky about have been the best tenants. And like, for example, letting the house sit vacant an extra month to find the right person is worth it every time, no matter what.
Yeah.
Because you know what I mean?